I will go deeper to talk about this, but the interesting part here is that Google is, since June the 14th of 2011, they are putting out search through speaking as a search through a question to your phone instead of ordinary writing. And this will affect how we search. You don't say to your phone, okay Google, jeans, and it will search for jeans. You will probably ask a question like, okay Google, I want to buy blue jeans. Are you with me? Great. I will talk a lot more about that later. The main thing that I'm building my theory on is in the buyer flow. I've been talking about this some time, and my theory is that when you're starting your timeline of making a buy, you're starting by searching for information. When I spoke to Internet in Focus, I gave a reference to barnvagn, trolleys, yeah, and how you're searching for information about that and what's the good stuff and the bad stuff and so on, and it's that is a quite good example because you can actually relate to that kind of search. You're starting with trolleys, and then you're finding out that you need the extra nice wheels and then the car takeout part and the big one, the big yeah, and so on, and that is actually affecting your search through your timeline. And my theory here is, if you can affect your buyer already information state, probably when it comes to comparing prices, you will compare by brand A and brand A instead of brand A and brand C. Can you relate to it? Yeah, great. So if I continue with this example, or and the same example as we did in the description of this seminar, is when you start searching about the flower, and then you find out you're searching about tulips, and then you find out that the most common flower in Sweden is tulips, and then it affects your search. And you want to follow the thread until you're actually making a buy, that you're going to a Interflora store or a Euroflorist store and actually make a buy, and then you want to affect it that they should buy tulips. But here, when you're searching for buying a trolley, you're not just searching for, I want to buy a trolley, okay? But to affect you in the way that you're searching, you need to get more information. And if you as a provider of this trolley can give accurate information, can give information that is förtroende, confidence, of the product, then when you're comparing the product, it doesn't necessarily needs to be the most expensive trolley. It could be the best trolley. In the same way, when you're buying tires to your car, my uncle works in selling tires here in Malmö, and sometimes customers comes in and they say, I want to buy the best tires to the car. And okay, and then they present the offer. Sometimes a customer comes in and say, I want to buy the most expensive tires, because they think that the most expensive is the best. The most expensive doesn't need to be the best. So if you're affecting your customer in early buying stage by providing them with information that gives you confidence of actually buying from you, my experience is that when it comes to comparing prices, they will compare it by you or you. What's your experience of this? Can you relate to it?
The to your site for the trolley, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big, very crowded space.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start a trolley business tomorrow, so how do you go about that? Because I mean that is a theory, of course, but the hardest part is actually getting the customer to your white page or homepage or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that is meaning that you can't just focus on the keyword trolley, for example. You need to focus in on much more, like features to your trolley, safety features to your trolley, safe to your child features, and so on and so on. And the interesting part is that you can't tell, for example, if you're talking about Google, you can't tell Google, I want to be seen on this. It doesn't work like that. You can tell Google that, okay, my site is about this. Then you have other effects like off page and so on that affects how highly likable is that the information that you're providing is accurate. So one of my customers, when I look at her keyword portfolio, mainly her words is 4-word length of keywords, but she's focusing on her site on maybe 1 or 2 keywords, but Google finds out that, okay, blue and jeans is the same as red jeans, but you're only focusing on jeans on the site. Yeah.
Maybe to make things more clear, we are not talking specifically about organic search.
Yeah, thank you.
Not AdWords and stuff like
No.
Also business to consumer primarily.
But the theory works even in business to business, and even in varor och tjänster, products and services. Because if you want to buy a service, you will start by asking Google, I want a CEO consult, or I want a professional in digital marketing. And if the first results come up and it has bad recensioner, reviews, thank you, you will probably not pick the first, even though it's the first. And somebody will choose it because it's the first and so on. But in AdWords, I have an example of a bathing duck that I'm using, because if you're searching for yellow bathing duck, the organic search will show you examples of exactly yellow bathing ducks, but the paying part will show you, screw yellow bathing ducks, choose blue ones instead that we are having. So and Google's mainly mission is to provide the information that the market is asking for. If Google is starting to show results for something that is not related to what you're searching for, you will stop using Google. So the main concern for Google is that you're showing that they're showing the right result of what you're searching for, and that is why, for example, if you're talking about AdWords, you have this quality score that tells you how good is your site and how good is the information on your site on what you want to be shown on. I have a customer that wants to be seen on stopp i avloppet, stop in the plumbing system. And he had a budget over 50,000 Swedish kronor per month to be on the top, but he still didn't get on the top, even though he spent a huge amount of money on just one keyword. Because when you're searching for that, you want it to first one on the list, just come over here. So I told him to start working on his site, to gain his quality score, his information on his site, so it was more relevant to actually stop in your plumbing system. and he went from 50,000 kroners a month to about 30,000 kroners a month, and from second place in AdWords to first place in AdWords. So he still needs to be on the first place in AdWords, but he actually worked with his site so it was more relevant to the keyword. And yeah, I think this is really interesting. And I have this example about my customer that she's working. She's e-commerce store, and she's working with a huge amount of brands in high-end segments. And the fun part is I took some examples of where she's put in first and second place, and see the search volume. The interesting part is when you see the keywords. This is actually brands, not her brand, other brands, and she's still ranking really high. And if I put in another column here and I show you the ranking page on Google on this side, you will actually see that many of those keywords will be the same, even though it's different kind of keywords. Yesterday I had a discussion with one of my customers about how they should work with keywords on their site, because they want to be seen on TP-tält, leksakstält, tält för barn, and she asked me, do I need to put in one product that says TP-tält, one product that says tents for children, and so on and so on. And I told him, if you would ask me a year ago, I would probably said yes. But Google is starting to be so intelligent that it's actually starting to understand that it means the same. Some studies are made that you can actually have 1,000 different kind of keywords in one page and still rank in top 10. But it needs to be in the same area. You can't talk about cars, ducks, and dresses. You need to be relevant to the subject. Does anyone here work on a daily basis with more long tail keywords, if so said? Yeah. Can you relate to what I'm talking about?
Not really, because I work with AdWords.
Okay.
We have very specific methods of differentiating about everything. But
Yeah.
the main objective of Google has always been
Yeah.
to be relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The question there is when you say this is not relevant because I work with AdWords, it might be a stupid question, but how is that not relevant? Because
No.
AdWords is Google, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, not completely. We differentiate between organic and paid.
Oh, okay, you mean okay,
Yeah.
now I know.
And Google AdWords is a paid
Yeah,
part.
And it's actually the trend. I haven't found any real study on this one yet, but I see a trend that the more long tail keywords that you're using, the less AdWords there is. And sometimes when you have really long, like for some questions and so on, it's nearly impossible to put up a strategy that can put in every 30 word length search.
Every variant of that specific question, there's so many variations for one question.
Yeah, of course, in AdWords you can work with your signs before and afterwards and try to find you somewhere there, but it's quite hard. And the interesting part, it's quite hard as well to work to optimize your site for this kind of search as well.
If I start typing in a question,
Yeah,
I get suggestions.
yeah.
Where do they come from? Are those paid as well?
No. My experience and what I've learned is that those suggestions is what others have searched for before that could be relevant to your question. So Google, yeah, no,
Does that relevance go back to your search history?
it could be, yeah, of course, yeah.
Could be the total search history.
It could be the total as well.
So we might get different suggestions even if we started with the same word
Yeah.
based on ours.
I have an example of this. If you have a search history of searching for travels, and you have a search history of searching for news, and you're both searching for example Turkey, Google will provide you latest news on Turkey, and Google will provide you travels tickets to Turkey, even though it's the same keyword. So how should we work with optimization for a keyword that Google actually provides two different kind of results? Okay. You can't. It's impossible because Google is presenting to you what it's on your search history and what's relevant to you. So the suggestions in there, of course, it's the total amount of related questions to Google, but it's also on your search behavior. And now that Google is starting to providing weather information and quickest way back home and so on, you haven't even searched. When I take my first step out of the office, my phone nearly always tells me that it's 45 minutes home. But I haven't searched for it. I haven't asked for it, but it's vibrating and telling me, okay, it's 45 minutes home.
I've got a question actually.
Of course.
The tools that you use to find this information in the search volume.
Yeah.
Whether it's just the search console or
Yeah.
There are many other different tools that you can use.
Yeah. I should try to be objective with this one because I'm working. I'm representing one of these tools. I'm working for a company called Longtail, and this is a tool. No, I can't. We're the best in Scandinavia, but not in the world.
What's the name of it?
Longtail. We started actually here in this building 6 years ago. There are huge.
If you want to be objective, go to the competitor, find the Stockholm. Sökmotorsoptimering och så. Sökmotorskonsult.
But they don't have a tool for it.
Yeah, they have a book and they have listed all the different tools in the market. Great book.
But our tool is not in that list.
Okay. As I said.
No, and that is why I didn't be introduced as Andreas from Longtail because I'm not representing Longtail here. That is why I can speak with my theories and my thoughts. Everything that I'm talking about here, I can't talk to our customers in Longtail because it's too abstract. It's maybe too advanced, maybe too futuristic. But there is a huge amount of good tools. I think on our competitor list, I think we have 20 different tools that we are benchmarking to.
So if you would find one, you would search for.
The interesting part is that the market here in Sweden doesn't even know that they need one yet. So we are actually working towards a market that they are like, I want something, but I don't know what I want. Yeah.
But this is interesting because we have quite a bit of the same product.
Yeah.
I mean, people know what they want in the end,
Yeah.
but not how to get it.
No, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And then
I
to
mean-
find your words for that.
In English, one keyword could be search ranking tool or software.
Yeah.
Or something. But problem is there's so much old software and stuff as well. So a large amount of the results are crap.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn which are the actual good tools and stuff like that. So
And there is a lot of free tools that are focusing on page. And everybody that's been working with Google the last year knows that on page is like 20% of the total amount of ranking factor. So the other part is off page and the age of the page, the speed of the page. I use one of Google's own tools, Insight, that tells me how good your CSS is and how good your JavaScript is and so on, because that is depending as well. And I'm trying to figure out a way to find a tool that provides me everything. You can't, because there's so much. Yeah,
If you use these 20 tools
yeah.
and compare what the results are, will they all give you the same result? This is the second best page. Or is it all interpretations?
In on page, my experience is that it's nearly the same. It's about 22 different kind of factors, and some has 25, some has 20, and some has 50. If you ask me, it's about 22 factors. If I ask you, it would probably be more and less. Or
so then there's like the 80-20% principle. There's
Yeah.
maybe 20 factors that makes a huge difference, and then there's a bunch of little details.
yeah. Yeah.
It's really interesting that we sit here, try to figure out
Yeah.
what Google is doing.
Yeah.
And the whole
Yeah.
industry
Yeah.
is there because they're trying to find out how they think.
So the 10 guys in Google office.
I know, it's
Thank
very
you.
interesting.
This is quite interesting. Search or question or query or keyword. Users use queries. Marketeers use keywords. I think this is really interesting, and this picture is nearly sums up everything that we are supposed to talk about today. Because you can in your Google communication work with blue jeans or male blue jeans, but we need to remember that we have a huge amount of other digital channels that we're supposed to work to as well. Today I'm talking about Google because we're talking about keywords, but the theories can be put in different kind of digital channels depending on who you're talking to and so on, and you should actually use the keywords that the markets are using in your other channels as well. So if you're trying to make up on your site, you should rank on these specific. The work that you need to be put into this, I think it should be really hard, and the return of investment should probably be negative, because you want to earn money, right? When you're working with this, or at least your customers want to make money. So we need to work with keywords, so we know what we're going to talk about. But then we also know in our experience that we need to talk about these keywords and these. It's really good to put it online and sale and buy and so on in your strategy. But the main focus word is blue jeans.
Just a stupid question, but isn't blue jeans an expression? That's still called a keyword.
Everything that they're putting in the search field here is a keyword. So for example, you write what's for dinner. This is one keyword.
Maybe a business expression. I mean, you call even longer phrases keywords, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is why I'm separating general keywords with long tail keywords. Did anyone see how many words the search? How many words you can put in the search in Google now, because they upgraded it? Have you seen that? Everybody missed it. Okay. Google changed the amount of words that you can put in the search field for 1.5 2 weeks ago. Before it was, I'm not 100% sure about exact numbers, but before it was 35 words in the search field. Now it's 65. Because we are starting to ask more questions. When we are searching, we are starting to search more in long tail words than specific words. We talked about when we before we started here. I remember when I started working with, started using Google. I searched for jeans. And then Google provided me information about jeans, and then I could maybe go in and buy one and so on. But then the market started to understand that if you're only searching for jeans, you will be provided with so much information that it will not be relevant for your search. Then the market starting to change its behavior to be more specific. Are you with me? And now it's starting to go back again to even more specific, because there's so many providers on Google that can provide information that you want to put away everything that's just distraction and just narrow it down. But the interesting part, to narrow this result down, you need to be more specific in your question. Another part of the SERP. Have you seen this? In the organic search field. When you're Googling SERP, Google SERP heat map, you will find that about 35% of the first word in general keyword will get a hit, and the second one, and so on, so on, so on. But what is happening now, and how are you going to optimize your site so you can actually get a picture here? Have you any experience of this? Some.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
Using the schema definitions.
Yeah. Nice.
But it has to be specific and relevant for the page.
Yeah.
Otherwise we'll get required by Google.
I love schemas.
Yes.
What's that?
Schemas is a code strip that you're putting to be more specific to Google. Simple explanation of it. So for example, phone number, you can put it in so Google will more easy find the phone number and the contact information, and where you're located if you're a local business and so on. Do you have more experience of schemas?
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
Instead of just using the plain HTML and having the information about your product, you also have the schema for a product. So you tell Google, this is a product. This is the picture of the product.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Google needs that in. And various schemas has different types of layouts in the results page. And they're experimenting a lot with this, and it varies constantly for now. Anyway.
Yeah.
Does it affect the ranking?
Not so much the ranking, but what you see in the ranking, and if you get a picture there, then the percentage of people who clicks on it goes like exponential.
How do you spell it? Yes.
It's CHAM.
Where?
Premise.org, I think.
Something like it.
Yeah.
Google it.
Google is your friend. And I found something today. I think this is really interesting. A mock-up of all the different kind of features that you can find in Google SERP. I think this is This is amazing. And how should you use when you're working with your search engine optimization, how should you use your terms, your optimization, your keywords to be seen on all this? How should you systematically work to be seen on this? I don't have the answer, and if I had,
It happens every hour.
okay, good to know.
Now we know that an hour is gone.
Connected to the slot.
But look here, when you're googling Beirut, you can find a point of interest in Beirut, hotels in Beirut, shop for souvenirs from Beirut, local coffee shops and so on in Beirut, the band Beirut, take you from my place to Beirut, flights to Beirut, and so on and so on. You see here, it's a huge amount of features that Google can provide about one single keyword.
So they put this together, they kind of package this.
This is a mock-up. This is put everything together that they have found. And this is the site that I'm using, linkassistant.com, because it provides with really good information about nerd snack. How should I say that in English? Geek talking about the digital marketing. But
All of these won't come up at once. It depends on the context.
yeah.
And where you are.
But I want to ask you, do you work systematically to be seen on this?
It's hard.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at my customers that has like 500 different kind of keywords. How should they systematically work with all their 500 different kind of keywords to be seen on all this? You raised your hand, yeah.
You haven't mentioned my business. Google My Business.
No.
Because that's Google's way of putting it together and make you active with your people.
Yeah.
So the map section right there.
Yeah, the map section. You have this, and you can have your ratings and your social media and so on on Google My Business. Yeah. I think that is awesome to use that because it provides the user easier way to access your site.
Do you need the G Suite for that, or
No.
is it separate?
Yeah. I think you do it in Google Web Master Tools, Search Console.
But it's more connected with when you have a physical location.
No. You can.
It's more important if we have a restaurant.
Yes.
Selling handbags online.
Yes, it is.
It's connected to
But the interesting part with Google My Business is the reviews and so on that can come up when you're searching for something and your company comes up in the right. And the possibility of making a purchase on that company when you have really good reviews, it goes to the top when you have reviews. But this is kind of new to me. Do you have some experience of any of these? You have some, yeah.
Some of them. A lot of them are new and they're still experimenting and variants.
Mm.
Google News can be extremely effective if you're preferably for an English blog that is actually posting news.
Yeah.
Accepted into Google News, then you will get extra exposure
Yeah.
for your posts and stuff like that. And but there's so much of this, and it's really hard to keep track and trying to use it.
Yeah.
Just make an example of the trolley example again. For example, you're starting a business selling Emma-Ljunga trolleys.
Yeah.
So you basically are buying Emma-Ljunga. So the keyword is Emma-Ljunga trolleys.
Yeah.
So how does that put in this context? Because
For example,
Emma-Ljunga has the main
Yeah. But then Google wants to provide you the relevant information. So if you're searching and you're finding Wikipedia and then there you're reading about the features about trolleys and then you maybe put into an prisjakt site and you're finding prices on trolleys and so on. I think that Google is starting to present to you some of these features because you're interested. And Google is actually even now that you have Google on your car and on your TV, and you're using the same login to every different kind of devices that you're using. Google can actually look at you and see, okay, where is you in your stage, and what should I provide to you right now to be most relevant and so on. That is my theory, and that is my experience when I see something, when I Google something, and then the further I come, the more information I got about something.
And also, if we're talking specific products, then it's sold via a web shop or something. If you scroll up, you have the product listings there.
Shopping, yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome, I think.
But that's sort of a part of AdWords.
Yeah, it is.
A specific section to be shown in the product results beside organic results. But those can also be extremely effective.
I've been searching for some time a heat map of SERP with Google Shopping and organic and ads and so on. I haven't found it yet, but I think that when you're searching for something and the Google Shopping comes up, I think that it's more relevant for you to click on this one and on the organic. This is my theory, because you have a picture, you have the topic, you have the price, you probably have a review. And if you want to buy this Emma Junga trolley, and it comes up here and it's 2,000 kronas cheaper than this one, you probably will click on this and buy it. I think so.
Yeah. After you checked with price comparison.
Yeah, for example.
Then we come back to the first topic
Yeah.
about the information and how that affects buying.
Yes. Thank you. And that is why I think that if we're talking about Emma Junga and making this an example, I think that Emma Junga should be putting information on their site that they are a trusted provider. So when you're searching for the best trolley to my baby, Emma Junga should be there. If you're searching for a car extension to your trolley, Emma Junga should be there. And you're not, maybe you're not in the mood of buying, but when you're seeing Emma Junga everywhere and you're seeing that they have good reviews, they have made some tests that they're telling you that it's safe for your baby, the psychological part in this one will tell you that Emma Junga is the brand to buy. This is not Google. This is psychological. Yeah, you understand what I mean. Yeah, thank you.
Basically, you're going back to content marketing.
Yes,
At the beginning.
yes.
Strategically to build trust.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
therefore sell your stuff.
Yeah, but the hardest part is that you have like 250 others that sell MI
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So it's a very big noise and what you do, right, and so on. So basically you have to buy ads as well, right? You have to have a mix of them.
Yeah. I think actually absolutely should have a mix of them. And in my project, my projects, I'm using AdWords to check the conversion rate of my site. To check, okay, is this something that I should buy a full stock of, and so on. So I'm using ads to fast gain position in Google to try the market, and so I'm using AdWords as well on that, even Facebook and so on. So when I'm testing the market for something new that I want to talk about or something new that I want to sell, I put on AdWords. And usually when I ran a gym in Ängelholm, I tried to figure out if on Facebook which should be the new gymnastic program that we're supposed to put in. And I put in 500 kroners per topic for 2 hours, and just boom. And I see directly, okay, that one and that one. The rest, cut it out. So instead of
Marketing research.
yeah, but I'm paying for it in live time to see what's happening. Choosing specific hours, just boom. Instead of trying to put it up on Google in organic search and waiting and try to figure out what does the market search for and so on. Just put it out there, pay for it, and then go back and analyze it. But I think that's another topic. About half a year ago, I found this one. And I'm starting to talk to Magnus Eng. Do you know him? Or know anything about him? He's quite a profile in digital marketing here in Malmö. He runs Top Visible, for example. Yeah. And he's been long talking about Longtail words and how actually a second place in Longtail could have a more larger effect than a second place in general. And when I finally found numbers on this, it was just like, I can relate to this. And this is quite fascinating because in general search, the first position is dominating, then it just drops down. But in Longtail, more specific, you're not only clicking on the first one, you're actually starting to click further down. So for example here, the second place in Longtail compared to second place in general, it's 3 times the visitors in Longtail.
Longtail was the phrase.
Yeah. Depending on who you're asking from to more words in the search. I would say about 3 or 4 words starting to be a long tail. Like blue jeans is still a general for me. Do you have any experience of this?
Yeah, thank you. The basic point has to be that the long tail,
Yeah.
customer using long tail words is further along the buying journey than the for the end.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So why I mean looking at my company, the highest general search was really expensive,
Yeah.
and it really the second third place is ridiculous if you have no correlation at all.
Mm.
But isn't Longtail also more relevant for business to business? Because you are very specific.
Yeah, but if you take this trolley, for example, then you're probably searching for Emma Ljung, a trolley with model number ABC and car extension. And if you're talking to the experts in some areas, for example, plumbing and heating, and you're searching for a spare part, the search can be really, really specific. Yeah.
Is it even relevant to talk about consumer, business to consumer and business to business because it's people searching no matter what role?
I agree 100% because my experience is, even though it's a business to business company,
That's just the sales part of it, not the search part. Search as person you buy as person.
yeah, but I don't think that I should draw a straight line. I think it's depending on many different kind of things. But
We'll come back to
Yeah.
what's said in the abstract
yeah,
from today, and also what we talked about. That if we don't know what you're searching for,
yeah,
you need to go generic first. Then
Yeah.
you see
Yeah.
what kind of
we have an example in Longtail that's saying first you're searching for roller skates. Then you're finding out that you want a pink roller skate, and then you find out that you want pink roller skates with silver wheels, because you want roller skates. I'm thirsty. I want something. Okay, I want roller skates. But okay, when I'm searching for roller skates, I get blue and black and four-wheelers and so on. And I want to narrow it down. And I think it's the natural way of looking at products, even in the shop. You're going in the shop and you're looking and say, no, that one, no, not that one. And in your thoughts, you will be more and more specific to what you want.
Question, going back to your company, perhaps.
Yeah.
The object.
Yeah, I should try.
When we started out using this one, and I'm basically talking about AdWords, not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
organic search. We took the broad words, pour lots of money in it, and then got the reports back from Google, actually learning which long-tail words that are relevant. And we're still using it, doing that, because I haven't found any tool that's good enough than the actual result from Google.
No.
Right?
No. When I'm trying to find out my long tail words, of course I use our tool, but I also do a search on Google and go on the lowest part of the SERP, and it says suggestions. Yeah. And
Also all that.
yeah.
Also all that. You
Yeah.
still have
But
today I got a report having, and the long tail is like 50 more words.
Yeah.
I haven't seen ever.
But then I go into Google Trends. I'm using that one to see on this keyword, on both on the subject and on the specific search term, and trying to figure out related keywords and so on. But my theory is that you can't find out all the long tail keywords, because in Sweden you are searching 50 million times a day on Google. 7.5 million of these searches on new searches that Google never have seen before. Some of my customers in long tail keywords has a conversion rate of 80 to 90%. And some of my customers in general have some conversion rate in 0.5%. The lowest I've seen in one of my customers in general is 0.0019 in general keywords. That's really, 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 really low. Can you see why? Because I have a theory, but can you see why? Tell me. Why long tail keywords probably have better conversion rate compared to general search.
They're further down that purchase
Yeah,
funnel,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. But they know what they want. And if you rank for that term, then you're probably going to provide it.
When you're searching here, and we take the trolley example, you're searching for trolley. But my experience here, you're searching for trolley with rubber wheels and car extension and winterproof. I don't know. And you will probably buy when you're so specific. You're searching for a price when you're searching for that. And the probability to actually buy will be quite high. Do you have any experience of this? Have you been able to measure it, or do you have some? No. Do you measure conversion rate today? Good. It was some. Yeah. What is it? Okay. Conversion rate is, for those that don't know it, is 100 customers come into your site. If one is buying, it's 1% in conversion rate. Great. So it means that if 100 customers come into your site and you have 80 to 90% of conversion rate, you get 80 to 90% of customers that will buy. But of course, if you have a long tail word and the general trolley has like 5,000 searches per day, per unique search per day, and this Ninja fucking awesome trolley with the rubber wheels has maybe 10 searches per day or per month, which means that you will probably sell, I think that you will probably sell more in this one because it's a higher conversion rate and compared to this. So when you're talking about strategy, mostly the first thought that I get from my customers is, oh, I want to be seen on the most searched keywords. I want to be seen there. I was like, okay, we can do that, but how much will it cost you compared to how much will you earn in money? The same way in Longtail, of course you will need to have 10 times more long-tail words than one general word to come up to sell the amount of products that you want to sell. But I can guarantee you it won't be 10 times more work with 10 keyword long-tail words compared to one keyword.
But don't you think there's some prestige in this?
Of course it
And
is.
also, the guys that approve your budget,
Yeah.
they don't understand the long tail. They want to, if they search for one word, they want to see your company on top.
That is why I'm titling myself Digital Business Developer. Because this I can argue against quite easily. And my experience, when you're talking to boards or leaders to companies, talk money, talk return of investment. Don't talk in terms of keywords or search words or anything like that. Tell that, okay, we can be seen on this amount of words and we'll earn this kind of money. We can be seen on this kind of word and we'll earn this kind of money. And this is this effort, and this is 10 times more effort. Which one do you want to use instead of talking about keywords? My experience with marketeers is that they are talking about keywords and inspiration words and so on, and they're not thinking so much about actually selling. And that is also what we were talking about. That usually marketeers, they talk like marketeers, but me as a salesperson, I've been selling in 11 years now, and I'm used to talking, depending on what kind of the customer it is. I'm used to talk to in different languages, different kind of choosing of words and so on, because I can't just stay in one straight line and change the outfit of the communication depending on which media it is. I need to change my language. If it's on Instagram that I'm communicating on, or is it Facebook, or is it Google, or is it email marketing, or what is it that who is it I'm talking to and what I'm saying. Even though on the end row it's the same thing that I want to sell. So I need to talk in different kind of, yeah.
Is it relevant to think about the way people search depending on their age? Because I'm thinking about when search engines were very new, you needed one word and a plus, and then a word and then a minus.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and do older people still search that way, or have they also, or is it a millennial thing to search for the long phrase? And do you need to think about that? Who is my client and the way they search?
I remember when I were in lågstadiet, how do you say that in elementary school? Yeah, we actually had a course called Search on Google and Write on Computers. And I remember we had one computer on the school, and it was in the library, and we sat down with our teacher, and she told us how we should search on Google. So it was like this: car plus blue minus left wheel drive. Yeah, but the logic is still there. It's just that you don't have this plus and minus anymore. And I've tried sometimes to put in plus and minus and so on, and Google doesn't care. That's my experience. I don't have any accurate data on that.
It doesn't affect the way you work with these type of keywords on Longtail. My client is a 50-year-old CEO on a large company.
Yeah, of course she will search differently compared to a CEO, 20-year-old, of course. But it's impossible. I think it's impossible to be exactly accurate to the kind of customer that you're talking to. Yeah,
Google customizes that to the person
yeah,
because they know who the person is
exactly.
in three different ways, and they have like 200 plus micro moments
Yeah,
known for every person per day,
yeah,
so they know exactly what you're up to and
yeah.
the pattern you usually search. So
But do I need to
no,
know that when I create my Longtail keywords?
no, there are different demographics you can have. But I guess the vocabulary is different.
Yeah, it is.
That could be. It could be.
And it could be dialectal as well. For example, one of my customers, and this is an example in Swedish, she was selling concrete sinks, okay, and in her dialectal language she said betongho, because she thought that this was the way that people searched, and that is what it was called, betongho. And then I told her, sorry, I don't think so. Betongvask, it's more accurate. And she's like, but it's called Hue. It's what it is. And then I needed to show her in search volume that nobody searches for Hue. It's searching for Vask. And that is an good explanation, example of what we were talking about. Yep.
What percentage of the searches are done on a mobile device? Because to enter a Longtail,
Yeah.
Longtail keyword on the mobile is,
Yeah, you're sort of typing
yeah,
quite a lot.
so
And
it should be more of a.
Have you read my yeah, because okay. So thank you for that. Look here. Click frequency on desktop. The blue one is 1 word, 2, and the red one is 2, and the brown is 3, and the purple is 4. And this is the CTR on Google SERP, down to the 6th place. 1 hour. And this is international, not US. And you see here what's happening. And the purple one is 4+ words per search. And this is from Mars 2016, so it's quite fresh. And you see here that long tail words has more click rate further down the SERP. And now to the mobile one. It's really interesting, because on mobile you're tending to search more long tail compared to desktop. You're tending to be more specific on mobile when you're searching. You can see it here.
But it's more painful to enter.
Yes.
You only want to do it once, you don't want to do the whole travel.
Yeah.
It's also the thing with mobile search is more and more people are using the voice search.
Yeah.
Actually, because
That is why I had that as the first, because it will come again. Voice search.
I think when you're searching on mobile, you more exactly know what you want also.
Yeah, yeah.
You're already in the store. Yeah.
And exactly that one comes here. How you are using desktop compared to mobile, compared to the category. So when you're searching for places, maps, you're using mobile. But when you're searching for Yahoo and MSN areas, when you find omnichannel information, you're tending to use more desktop and mobile. That is why I didn't answer directly your question. And this is really, really interesting. Because if you're into online gaming, for example, I wouldn't spend so much time on desktop. I would spend nearly every day of my time on mobile. But if you're in finance, for example, when you can sell factoring services and so on, even though mobile is strong, desktop is really, really strong. And this number is from December 2015 in omnichannel platforms. So it's really, really interesting to see.
You can see that mobile is gaining.
Yep.
That change is really interesting.
Yeah. So for example, this area, business and finance, it's the most that one and personals, whatever that means. Probably tends to be more mobile, and photos actually drop the point.
And also retail, speaking of e-commerce and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you're running an e-commerce today and don't have a mobile-friendly site, you're out. Google actually said that they will punish the sites that don't have mobile-friendly sites, and now even SSL from the 1st of January. Does anyone know what SSL is? Good. Sorry? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, to make the site safe. Yes, exactly. And this is because you're providing so much personal information on sites and so on that you need to be encrypted. And Google provides secure sites. Google provides sites that are accurate and highly likely to present accurate information. Has a huge amount of backlinks, because backlinks can see it as a recommendation. Not the review that we're seeing. That's another part, a recommendation. So, do you have any kind of experience of this? Does anybody work in some of these areas? Sorry? Yeah, or have customers in? Because
in health information, it's around 60% mobile traffic that we see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know. But even 60%, 40% of the traffic comes from a desktop. And when I'm talking to my customers, I tell them to look at the conversion rate on mobile and one conversion rate on desktop. Because if you remember this buying cycle, the funnel that I was talking about before, I'm thinking that in business and finance, when you're using this mobile one and laying on your couch at home, searching for information, you're using your mobile to search for information. But when you're reading a proposition or something, I think you will do it on a desktop. I don't think that you will read that on a small device. So depending on where in the funnel as well, you should provide different kind of information that is good for the platform.
I got a customer in e-cigarettes.
Oh, nice.
Lately, and like UK lifestyles, sure, and
Yeah.
it matches. It's even a bit higher on the mobile for them, like 65 to 70%.
And e-cigarettes is so it's so popular right now.
Yeah.
And it's so popular on young kids.
We're working on that. Unfortunately, I don't have a spot too for e-cigarette. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And the last thing that I want to talk about is search through speaking. Tuve introduced me to this. Tuve is my colleague, by the way. Introduced me to this today because at home I can speak to my TV. I can speak to my car and I can speak to my phone, and I didn't understand that actually I could search by speaking as well. But when she told me, okay, I can see that. How many of you have done search by speaking to your phone? I have not.
Only to Siri.
Only to Siri, yeah. So it's half. It looks like. And the reason why I took this up is because when we're talking about specific keywords and long tail keywords, I don't think that you will be general when you're searching in your speaking search. I think that you will be very specific. What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And how will that affect the conversion rate, and how will that affect SERP and so on? So I'm hoping it will be more intelligent, and I'm hoping it will be more that you can run within your question and channelize it to the main result that you're wanting. This is all I have. Any questions further of what we're talking about?
Let's give him a hand first.